what happens if you just put this vaccine right into a drop of blood? Well, we did that with my blood. Take a look at this. You know, there's this discussion of blood clotting. You've talked about it, that the vaccines appear to be causing clotting on some level. Is there a way that I could test to see if vaccines cause blood clotting while we're here?
Yeah, it would be interesting to take some blood and put it on a couple of slides and then put a vaccine on each one, see what kind of changes we could see. Do you have an idea of whose blood we might be able to use?
I might as well offer myself up for that.
All right. Del, taking one for the team. I'll take you out to my phlebotomist and let's get some blood and give it a go.
Sounds good.
We'll take that. Perfect. And we will go back to the micro lab.
This is the closest that I'm ever going to get to getting one of these COVID-19 vaccines. In my blood, outside of my body.
I hear you 100%. All righty. So, here we go. So here you can see I'm trying to put the same number of drops in the same part of each slide. And that way we can focus on that one part of the slide, and it should be, uniformly spread. Look at that. Holy cow. Didn't it?
Yep.
Holy cow. Instantly cleared. I've never seen anything do that. And I don't mean to sound sensational, I haven't.
Never seen anything do that.
Nope, never seen anything do that.
Look at that.
Oh.
Wow, Pfizer. That's the Pfizer, right?
Boom. Look at that. You saw that. I saw that. Wow. That's unusual. All right, let's go take a look again. Okay, so we'll first take the normal one. This is the regular without anything on it.
Yep.
You can see little platelet clumps up in here throughout, and then a couple of white cells in the background. So that looks pretty decent. Like you're going to live forever, Del.
All right, good to know.
All right, let's see what the Moderna looks like. So again, we'll start kind of out at that thicker edge first. Work our way towards, should be the thinner portion of prep. Question is, where'd all the cells go? Seriously.
They're gone.
Seriously. I pushed them back into a big giant clump over at the edged clump. And again, is that the charge on the particles? I don't know. But where we put that drop, there are no red cells there.
I was going to say, as they come out, that it's almost like they're, they're bleaching clear.
Bleaching clear. Some of them are folded, and some are called, what do we call, crenulated, a little crinkled. But yeah, I mean, that whole edge is like bleached. So this is the J&J.
That's totally different.
Isn't it?
It's like a nuclear bomb went off.
Yeah, it's disordered, isn't it? And then there's a little more of that stacking, that rouleau here. And again, look at all this clumping here out on the edge of it. It just, like you said, like a nuclear bomb went off. It just congealed it. And again, that's not spike. That's just the lipid nanoparticle. So these are becoming more spherical. And you're losing that donut in the middle of your red cell. What's happening here is slightly from the outside of the cell in, causing those cells to balloon up slightly, because now you got a subtle osmotic shift here. And all of these are supposed to be, again, isotonic. These are supposed to be balanced with the pH of the body. You shouldn't be seeing, this kind of reaction. It shouldn't be damaging to the cells of the body right away like this. So here's that first Pfizer, and these were the ones where we just put a drop on and the whole thing just cleared. This is where all that fluid went. And again, like that J&J, just caused immediate dispersion and clumping. And those don't look very red to me either. Oh, and look Look at this.
Look at those little spikies.
Those are called echinocytes. So it it instantly changed the pH interior. These are little blebs of protein on the membrane of the red cell because the red cell has involuted, and then those proteins on the surface, they don't have room to go. It's like flattening a ball of some sort, and it's kind of all baggy, but you know, so all these little fingers, that is not spike protein. So that's another myth I wouldn't mind dispelling.
Well, I mean, it's crazy because it's done it to so many. We didn't see that on the other ones,
we didn't see that on the other ones. So that's fascinating because that instantly changed the pH of the interior of the cell, and it caused a massive outflow of fluid from the interior of the cell, causing all that cell membrane folding. That's wild. And it was, I mean, almost instantaneous. And
It is everywhere.
it is everywhere. So that's wild. Those red cells are now non-functional red cells. Those aren't going to carry a whit of oxygen. And now your body has to decide what to do and has an inflammatory reaction because now it has to gobble those up. And then, again, the comparative is, let's go back to the normal. Go up to the thinner edge. No spikies at all. So, you know, that's why you do normal control. So what this means is more science, more questions than
We have a
answers.
signal.
We have a signal.
Well, I mean, that was somewhat alarming. It was a lot of fun, you know. And just, I want to be clear that this is an instantaneous result that we saw. We don't really know what to make of it. I also want to point out that we put, you know, a few drops on really just one of my drops of blood, diluted by the amount given throughout the whole body. Who knows if this ends up being, you know, I just wanted sort of some caveats.
Yeah, no, a lot of
what we
caveats
are
here.
not
This
seeing,
was
you know.
just playing. I had a colleague did this, and he said, "Don't believe me, just go repeat the experiment." I said, "Okay," and we repeated the experiment. And so a couple things come from this.
Yeah.
Some is the difference in concentrations that should or shouldn't be there. So to get cell changes because of the ionic shift, the pH, etc., it just means that these aren't. All of them aren't a balanced fluid. Like you want something to go in, and it's not going to cause all those other reactions, but it is. And you know, when someone gets a very painful arm after the shot for several days, well, part of that's because of that. Because this is an irritant in and of itself. This isn't making spike protein yet. You know, it could be some of your own natural blood
Right,
sugars
just to be
and
clear, I
antibodies.
want to remind people, this is an mRNA technology that has to be inserted into a
Right.
cell. It has to have
So we're not
time
to
to
that
then
step, right.
sort of for the cell to read that recipe, if you will, start creating spike protein and pushing it out on the outside of the cell. We're not seeing
We're not that part yet.
Let's look at these spiky things really quick. I think we have a little B-roll of this because I've also seen pictures that says, see, look, it turns your blood into a spike protein right away. I've seen that posted on that. Those aren't spike
No,
protein.
they're not. And I want to absolutely dispel that myth because these are called echinocytes. Now, you'll see these in chronic kidney disease patients.
So if you were looking at this and you didn't know I just put back, I hand you my regular blood and you saw this prolifically through my blood, what would be the diagnosis?
I would do some blood tests and check you for chronic kidney disease.
Okay.
A spike protein is going to be thousands of times smaller than that.
Okay.
Microscopically smaller because it's on a virus. You can't see it.
So these
This
this is almost like if I had a tent and a giant windstorm comes, my whole tent collapses. Like you said, the cell collapses and the poles are sticking out in every direction. The proteins are stuck in a deflated tent, sticking out the edge that makes it look spiked because it's no longer full and round. And,
it's a great analogy. Yeah.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with the spike protein.
Okay.
That's
But
just
it
a
is
cellular
alarming
change. It's
on
alarming in
some
the
level.
sense that it's shifting the integrity of the cell. Now, where do those cells go once they're non-functional and destroyed? They go to your spleen. And my colleague in Dr. Burkhardt in Germany has pictures of how much spike protein is being made in the spleen. So some of these cells that are either being destroyed or carrying it, that's where your red cells get recycled. And so it's fascinating to see, okay, here's damaged red cells, here's damaged white cells, where are they going to be gobbled up and reprocessed? A lot of spike protein in the spleen on microscopic studies. So that's where a lot of them can go.
And when we drop that drop and you just see that, just like it's like a nuclear bomb goes off, like I said, on that, if I dropped a drop of saline on blood, it wouldn't
do that. No,
it wouldn't do that.
No, and again, it just means it's at an irritating level, either ionically or pH wise, and so it's instantly, in this case,